Hello everyone, you're welcome to class. Today is our third class of Linux System Administration, and we are moving on gradually. So before we get into what we're going to be learning today, I think it's important that we take one or two questions. So you are here, you want to ask one or two questions as regards what we've learned so far. You have the floor now. Kindly unmute and ask your questions. We want to know about some of the command we've used. You have practiced one or two things. You didn't get the typical output that we got in class. I think you should ask now and let's clear our doubt. Is there anyone like that? Be beautiful. So I assume everyone is clear and we are all on the same page. I also want to encourage, if you are unable to watch class videos yet, it is not late. Please make time to check out class videos. So let's do a quick oral quiz. I want everyone to unmute and then just answer some of these simple questions. What will the command be if I want to check the full path of where I am currently?
PWD.
Say that again, sir.
PWD.
PWD. And what does the full meaning of PWD say, sir?
Present working directly.
Yeah, you
Print
missed the
working direction.
present.
Print working directory.
Okay, print working directory.
Beautiful. Print working directory. Okay. It tells you the current, the full path, which is also called the absolute path to where you are at the moment. Thank you. Okay, so let us assume that I want to list in details the content of a directory. What would the command be?
ls flag,
ls
is that the called flag L?
flag L.
L.
Okay, that's correct. All right. What would the command be if I want to do the same? However, I want to see all files, both hidden and unhidden folders and files.
LL-A.
LL. Okay, so do not give me as alias. Now give me as the original Linux command. LL-A is correct, but that, LL is an alias, I told us.
Okay, that would be L. Is it LS dash A? I think.
LA.
LSLA, yeah.
Okay, this is going to show us everything, even with hidden folders. So you see, when we listed this same directory now, without showing hidden folders, it says no files or folders are here. Then we decide to list all with hidden folders, and it shows us this. So from what you are seeing here, let's take it a step further. Are you able to say a folder is hidden or a file is hidden?
Dots in front of
The
the
dots
file
in front
name.
of the.
The dots in front of the file name.
Thank you. Okay. So what command creates an empty file?
Touch.
Beautiful. As simple as these are, I'm actually reading from a Linux DevOps interview manual, right? And this is compiled together February this year. So it might look simple, but it's actually basic things we ought to know. Yeah. I'm going to share some of these things with us towards the end of the boot camp. All right. So let's also look at more. I think I've asked you about this. You want to remove an empty directory. What command is used to remove an empty directory?
ROM. Then the directory name. Space, then directory name.
Okay. Let's call the directory name up. Do you think this will remove an empty directory?
And
That should be RMDIR, I think.
Yeah,
oh yeah.
that's
R,
it.
yeah, RMDIR.
Remove directory. This command is going to remove an empty directory. All right. So what if the directory is not empty? What would the command become? What would the command become to remove a non-empty directory?
RM.
Are you? Can we
Gonna
do?
be
Can we use?
Okay.
RM, RMRF, BRI,
RM.
RMRF, or
RF.
yeah.
Okay, this is a close, but it's not complete.
Sorry?
This is close. You're close to it, but it's not
RM.
complete.
RM-RF
Good.
directory. That was the name of the directory.
RM flag. No. RM flag RF. This is going to remove the directory. Okay, so all right. Simple questions. They may look simple, however, if you do not know it during interview, you're likely going to sweat. So let's move on into what we're going to be learning today. We have looked at navigations. We have also looked at some simple commands of how to create folders and files, how to create empty files, how to create non-empty files with the 3 different editors and even echo command. Let's do 1-2 things about navigation as well. What's here? This is empty. Okay. Now I'm deliberately working from Ubuntu server today, just so you can see that what I've always told us, if you've learned a distro of Linux very well, then you have learned 95% of all the distros of Linux. Okay, so can we create subdirectory, black, purple, red, blue, violet, a view list. Okay. There's something I'm seeing currently, which I've always been seeing anyway, and I hope someone will spot it out. Okay, let's cd into black. And here, let's say touch cars. Let's say Volvo, Toyota, Benz, Ford, GMC, Tesla, Lexus. So I have a lot of empty files here. Good. Let's also make directory and call this cities of the world: London, Lagos, DC. Let's use New York. Okay. Cairo, Janeiro. All right. Jerusalem, Doha. These are directories. Beautiful. And we also cd into London. And then to create part of the body, let's say make directory, eyes, nose, mouth, leg, and that's enough. Let me cd into nose. Please pay attention. I want to show us something about absolute path, which is also called full path, and relative path. Okay, can we clear screen? Good. Let me list nothing, print working condition, sorry, print working directory. So one thing about Linux is that it's going to show you something like this. Why Ubuntu, please, not Linux. Ubuntu, which is a distro of Linux. So you see, it will show you from the user home. From the user home, it goes ahead and show you the path to your current working directory. If I do same here, it won't show you all of that, okay? By the way, what I have here, can I go ahead and copy all the commands? Okay, it's gonna be easy for me. Let me copy this. And if I paste that here, that's done. I think I cd into black. Then after I got into black, what did I do? I created empty files using name of cars. Let also do that. Then what else did we do? Then we also created folders using name of cities across the world. All right. Then what else did we do? Okay, we cd into London and then created the name of folders using name of body parts. Good, so cd London, and then let's create this. Good. Then we CD into nose. Do you observe that here, the shell prompt here is just showing us the name of the folder where we are, which is the current working directory. While on Ubuntu, it shows us the relative path to where we are. Okay, it says from the user home, you can move into black into London, London into nodes. Okay, which is close to what I want to show us now. If I want to go from here, this is like a revision now, before I begin to show us what I want to show us. From here, if I want to go into my user home, what would the command be? Anybody remember? What would the command be to go into your user home from where we are currently?
//
You said?
//
//
Yeah.
No, this doesn't make anything. Do you see that?
Can you ask the question again?
From wherever I am at all on the Linux files and folders, how do I get to the user home?
CD ..
CD ..
CD doc or CD?
Just CD. Thank you, sir. All right. Just CD takes me to the user home, right? So the person that said CD .. what do you think has happened?
It took us one step back.
Okay, so why do you not say CD ..
Sorry, I forgot.
It's okay. Right. I hope as we are watching class videos, we are keeping notes as beginners or as new entrants, or when you're learning anything new. It's important that you keep notes, right? I have more than 16 years experience with Linux operating system, and I still have notes. I still have small, even if it's e-notes, because you can never learn all the commands, especially the deeper you go, the more you need to know. All right, so now I'm inside my user home now. Can I clear screen? From here, if I want to go into the nose folder, what would the command be? How would the command be to go in to get to nose directory? You remember we created a directory called nose, right?
CD to the node.
CD nose, right?
Yeah.
And then it says no such file or directory. So if we list this, we see all the directories that are here. How do you know directories I've shown you before? The ones in purple, in blue rather, are directories, but if you're unable to identify using the colors, you see D here, this means directory. So for you, there is no nose in this place. Okay, so that takes us to what I want to tell us now. When you are working with a file or directory, say that again, when you are working or when you want to work with a file or a folder, you are either using the relative path to that file or folder, or you are using the absolute path to that file or folder. Anytime you use the correct absolute path, it will not fail you. When I say absolute or full path, because you're going to see it in literatures, some calls it absolute path, while others call it full path. Absolute or full path. All right. And the second one is relative path. Okay. Now let me show you a typical relative path, how it works. From your show prompt, you're currently inside the user home. If I want to go into black, now the command is cd black. And I'm inside black. I'm able to get into black because the folder black exists within the current working directory as at when I wanted to go into black. So this is a relative path. Okay. If I go back by one step, let me clear here. Let's list. If I want to go into black, I can also use full or absolute path to black. And this is it. I'll start from the root. Root, I know there is home. I know there is Ubuntu. And I know there is what? Black. You see? So if I run print working directory, what is here is what is here. So an absolute path, or what others call a full path, starts from the root. Either it is a file or if it is a folder. And the good thing is, wherever you are within your Linux folder structure, if you use the absolute path, it will take you to wherever you are going. Okay, let me go back by one step and let me cd into Purple. So I'm inside Purple now. If I list, there's nothing here. If I say cd black now, go into black, it's going to tell me no such file or directory, and that's true. There is no file inside Purple. There is no file nor folder inside this Purple folder that is bearing black. Okay, but I know black exists somewhere, and I have the full path to black. Okay, so if I run cd to the full path of black, it takes me into black. Okay, now let me clear this screen, return by a step, and now ask us again, from where we are now, how do I get into the nose folder? Will I use absolute path or relative path? And what's the reason for the one that I'm going to use? Anybody understand the question? Do you understand what absolute path is and what relative path is?
Can you say it? Can you ask the question again, please?
Okay, so I want to go into the nose folder. How do I get there? What's going to work? Absolute path or relative path?
Okay, from this place, absolute path is going to work because the nose folder is not in this current working directory.
Beautiful. I wasn't only waiting for your correct answer, I was also waiting for how you use the diction, because it's also important. It's part of what you're going to be learning in classes like this, everyone, to use the right words to describe things. These are how interviewers spot experienced users. Please go ahead. So knows is not in this current working directory. Go ahead now.
So you have to use the absolute part by cd into root home
Good.
to wherever knows this. I don't know where it is currently.
I know you didn't know yet. So that's what I want to know. So let's put a quick distinction, clarification on. You will use relative part if your current working directory is along the directory you're going to, or if your current working directory is along the file. Don't forget, it could be folder or file, is along the file that you are going to. That's when relative path will work. Okay, but absolute path will work from anywhere you are, as long as you get the correct absolute path of where you're going, either if it is folder or file. Okay, so let's quickly practice that now. I want to get into nose. I know nose is inside London folder, and I know London folder is inside this black folder here. If I want to go by relative path, what I'll do is I'll cd into black, then go into London, then go into nose. Okay. In older versions of Linux, you will see them do something like this, dot /. Okay. This dot / here means that reference up to this current working directory, meaning that reference up to whatever you have here. Okay, and from here, continue to this folder, to this folder, and to this folder. Okay, in your path, the last item you have here would either be a file or a folder. It depends on what you want to do. If it is CD, then you will know by yourself that the last item you have here is a folder, because you cannot CD into a file. Okay? But if what I have here is VI, then you know that the last item here is what? Is a file. Because VI only works for what? For files. Does that make sense? So that's it. And now we are in nose. Do you see how we get to nose? Let's go back again. So I can say later versions of Ubuntu, later versions of Linux operating system are smarter. If I do not use dot /, okay, I can just go into black. No, cd. Let me clear screen. So go into black. From black, go into London, and from London, go into nose. And you see I'm inside nose. All right. I can't go from user home to nose straight like that. Why? Because this is relative path, and there is no there is no folder, neither is any file inside this current working directory that PS knows. Okay. Now, having learned how to use relative directory, you don't need to learn how to use absolute path or full path. As long as you know the full path, wherever you are at all, it will take you there. Okay. Can I CD into Violet? And I want to go into nose. I just need to paste the full path into nose. Okay, CD home black. I know it is inside London, and there is nose here. That's it. Okay, let me go into somewhere else that is hidden. Okay, can I CD into UWF? All right. Can I also CD into applications T? Good. If I list, let's clear the screen and then run print working directory. Look at where I am. Applications D, EWF, and I want to go into the nose folder. All right. Relative path will not work here. What's going to work? Your absolute path. So I need to do London nose. And so you see, anywhere I am at all, as long as you have the absolute path, it takes you there, and it is correct. Okay. If I go by black and I say Jerusalem nose, it tells you no such file or directory. Okay. Now, understanding navigation, I told us in our last class, is like 65% of what you need to know in Linux. You will find a lot of literature online, a lot of solution to the problem you're faced with, either on the job or on any project. You find it online. But what you will not find online is how to navigate to your own file or your own folder, because your folders or how you created your folders is different or will be different from how I have created mine. So nobody tells you that online. Only you understand the folder where you're working with. Okay, that's one. Two, when you are beginning to get into clone jobs, bash scripts, automation, you will not have the luxury of doing CD into folders using relative path. You will have to specify for Linux the absolute path to where it should go and execute a particular instruction or carry out one or two things. So you must understand how absolute path, how it works. And it's as simple as what I've shown us right now. Is there any question? Do you have any question, please, before we move on? All right, so if there are no questions, let's get into it. Can we quickly look at the copy and the move command? It's also useful. Copy CP and then move MV. Please pay attention. Okay, control this. The copy command can be used to do 3 different things. So also the move command. Copy will make a duplicate of either your folder or your file, whatever you're trying to copy. While move will cut whatever you want to move, that file or folder. Cut means it will not retain the original copy. So when you cut in your normal Windows OS, it moves it. Now let's put that into practice. Can we CD into black? We have, okay, beautiful. I was going to show us this in our last class, but I might skip it. I told us about autocomplete. Is that correct? That when you use the first 2 words, or when you type the first 2 characters of the word you're trying to reach, you can use the tab on your keyboard to autocomplete. Let me show you. Let's say I want to reach to Violet now. If I type VI and I use tab, it autocompletes for me. If I type R and I use tab, it autocompletes red. If I type purple, I'm going to purple and I press tab. Okay, it autocompletes. Now, this will work on 2 premises. Can you hear me, everyone?
Yes.
All right. This will work on 2 premises. That the command you want to use it with is correct. 2, that the first characters you used is distinct. Okay. Let's say CL. Okay. It probably means CL is correct. Let me find something. FT. That's also correct. Good. Now let me try BL. I just pressed tab and BL showed me nothing. Okay. And that's because within this current working directory, there are 2 items that start with BL. So it doesn't know which one to autocomplete to. Does that make sense? There is black and there is blue. So it doesn't know which one is going to autocomplete to. So if I insist on using autocomplete to, I'm going to take the word to another character that is distinct. So I can either say BLA, it autocomplete to black, or if I say BLU, autocomplete to blue. Okay. But we are going to black, so let's move on. Now we are in black, beautiful. You can either copy file or folder. And you can also copy it to either file or folder. The name of cars are files, empty files. The name of cities are directories here. If I want to copy a file into a folder, good. I'm glad I just taught us relative path now. So please listen carefully. If you want to copy a file into a folder, and both what you want to copy and the destination you're copying to, they exist in the same working directory. They exist in the same current working directory. Then you do not have any problem. Your job is simple. All you need to do is just to say cp copy. Let's pick Benz, which is a file, into, do we have Germany here? No, let's copy it into Cairo. So this command is telling Linux, copy Benz file into Cairo folder. And as simple as that. So if I list, I still have Benz here because copy means duplicate. And if I cd into Cairo and I list, I have Benz here now. You've done a simple copy. Let's go back by one step. That's one. Now, if you want to copy a file into a folder, and the folder you are copying into does not exist in the same working directory where you have the file you want to copy, then what do you think you're going to do? You may not understand. Let me make it graphical. So let's say copy Benz. I want to copy Benz into let's copy Benz into nose folder. So hold on, let me clear screen. Let me list. Okay, can I reduce this font a bit? Good. So we know that in this place now, there is no folder called nose, but that we know nose exists somewhere. So let's copy Benz into nose now. What are we going to use? Good. We can either use absolute part here, or we also use relative part. But we use relative part on the condition that where we are going to is relative to where we are currently. If it is not relative to where we are, then we can't get into that folder or file, and that's why it is called relative path. So I know nose is inside London folder. So what do I do? // London, then nose. Okay, see how I specified it. // London nose. I told us that when you see // here, it means reference up to the current working directory. Then from there, proceed into London, proceed into nose. So what that means is, if London is not related to this current working directory, I can't use this command. What then will I use? I will have to use the full path to that directory. But let's try this out first. It has worked. So please go ahead.
I'm confused. So, but nose is not here in this
Current directory, yeah?
So why are you using relative part when nose is not there?
Beautiful. Good question. So I said if we are going to use absolute path, it doesn't matter where you are. Just get the path correct, okay? But I also said, if you want to use relative path, it means that the file or the folder you are going to must be related to your current working directory, right?
Mhm.
Something. Can we cd into London and then nose? And let's print working directory. Now, please pay attention. You are inside black. Here, look at black. And then we needed to get into nose. So we can't just do copy Benz into nose because nose is not directly inside black. Nose is inside a folder called London, which is inside black. So to get to nose, we must get to where first? London.
London.
We get to nose. So we are now saying ./. We are inside black at that moment. So copy Benz to this directory. Now, how do you explain this directory? This ./ means that we are inside black, reference all the paths to black first. Then from black, continue into London and nose. That's what we did here.
All right, got it. Thank you.
All right. However, this is possible because nose is inside London. London is inside black. Okay. If these two were not in any way related to this part, then we can't use this method. We have to specify the full path to where we are going. And we're going to see it now. So if I list Benz in this place, okay? So let's go back into black. Sorry. And let's clear screen. Now, there is a folder called groups. I showed us in our last class. And I told us it is a known database file. It's not a folder, please. It is a file. Okay. And I thought that it is a known database file. Okay. Can we copy that file into the current working directory without going into the file? Is it possible? What's going to be the difference? Or what's going to do it for us? What will make the difference for us? What's going to play the magic? Okay, so let me just simplify it. Anytime you want to work with a file or a folder and you're not in the current directory of that file or folder, just specify the full path of such file or folder. Boom. Is that clear? I'll say it again. Anytime you want to work with a file or folder, and you're not in the current directory of such file or folder, simply specify the full path of the file or of the folder. Okay, so I can say copy root etc group to current directory. I may not be able to copy it because of permission. So when we get to permission, I explain that, but let's try this. Okay, it allowed us to copy it, and I know why. Ubuntu is a super user, and I also explained that when we get into permission. Do you see group here now? So you see that I've used full path on both ways, on both sides rather. Either what I want to copy or where I'm copying into. Right? The same way, if I want to copy group, which is already here now, into a directory, into a folder that is not here, okay? And the folder is not even related to any folder here currently, then I will have to specify the full path of that folder. Okay, so let me say I want to copy it into, there's a directory called SSH. Okay, SSH is inside Etsy. So I'll say root Etsy SSH. I was expecting this. I wasn't allowed, permission denied, because SSH is not a regular, okay, but no problem. I can use sudo. Sudo means super user do, meaning that invoke the privilege of root to perform this command. Okay? When we get into sudo, I'm going to explain better. But just to practice what I just said, let's go create a directory in some other part where that is not related to our part here. Okay, so let's take the file group to blue. We know blue exists inside our user home. So we say we go to root, home, Ubuntu, blue. And that's it. And if I cd into blue, cd blue, and I list, you see group here. Okay. So let's put perspective into it. Everything we've been doing is simple. We've not even gotten to where we begin to scratch Linux, right? It might look a lot because I'm explaining and that takes time. If you were to do everything I've been doing now, in 5 minutes, you're done. So this is the simple trick. When you're copying a file into a folder and both exist in the same current directory, you don't need to specify paths. But if any of what you want to copy or where you are copying into does not exist in the same directory as where you are, just specify the full path. And then your problem is, and the thing is solved. Do we copy? Just specify the full path, and that's all. Okay, clear. So let's go back into black. Clear screen. And then, so that's the first use of copy command. Okay. All right, so we've used it for copying file. Still on the first use. Now let's try and copy folder this time around. Okay. So I want to copy London into New York. Copy London into New York. It tells you too many argument. And that's because London is a directory. Okay, let's go try it from another server. CD into black, and let's list. Can we reduce this font? All right, so let's copy London, CD London into New York. So what told us too many arguments in a distro of Linux? In the other distro of Linux, it worked. Let's CD into New York. Where are we? Okay, we are inside London. So that means what we just did not work. Something else happened. We're going to see it now.
Sorry, I think you are using CD instead of CP. I don't know if I'm right.
Did I use really?
Yeah.
Oh,
You did
okay.
it. You did it
Sorry. Let me go
in
back
both
by
places.
one step.
You
Where
did
are
it in both.
we? What command did I use here? Oh, sorry. No wonder I thought it happened. Okay, it's copy. Let me clear screen so everybody can see that. Okay, good. So now let's copy London into New York. Omitting directory London. So good. We're having the same challenge here as what we're having here. And it's because what you want to copy is a directory. So if you want to copy a directory, you say copy flag R. R, we said it's what from our last class? Anybody remember? What did we say R means? Thank you, sir. Recursive. Copy flag R, London into New York. Do you see that this time there is no error message? So if we CD into New York and we list, we'll see the whole of London. Try it here as well. Still going to be the same thing. Copy recursive London into New York. Same thing, CD into London and list. Here is our New York.
CD into New York. Did CD into London.
It should be into London because CD into, yeah, it is. We copied London into New York. Good. So we should CD into New York. CD into New York. Then we should find London. That's correct. Thank you. All right. So we've seen if you want to copy a file, just go ahead. The only thing is if your file does not exist in the same directory, you specify the full path. But if you want to copy a folder, then you use flag R. Okay. The same thing exists if you want to copy it into a path that is not existing, that is not your current working directory. Okay. Let me clear screen. Let me go back by step. Can I also go back by step? So I'm inside user home now. So if I want to copy Cairo into this current directory, I'll say copy flag R, the full path to Cairo. Okay. I don't want to confuse us. I can also use relative path because Cairo is related to my current directory. This is home, EC2 user. Then inside EC2 user, I'll go into black. Then Cairo. Copy it into this current working directory. I'll just do either dot or /. Pay attention, everyone. This will work. But I can also tell you that I can replace this place by dots, meaning that those parts I replaced exist the same thing as this guy. See what I replaced with the dots: root, home, EC2 user. This current working directory. This is the same path here. So if I replace it, then this path becomes relative path. But I'm able to do that only because it is related to this path. If it is not related, I can't do this. I will have to specify the full path to where I'm going. Now again, do not be confused. The simple thing I've done, or I'm trying to tell us, is that either you want to copy a file or you want to copy a folder. Either you are copying into a file or you are copying into a folder. As long as what you want to copy or where you are copying into is not in your current working directory, then to make things easy, just specify the path to that folder or file. You will see us. Like I said, what we are teaching in this Linux class are commands that you will use as a DevOps person or as an SRE. So we're not teaching things that will just, that will wow you. No, this is not wow moment classes. No, we are teaching things that you will readily use on the job. And as simple as they are, do you not know how to use them, it might frustrate you. Okay. So that's it. The first use case of copy, either for file or folder, I've shown us. For folder, just use the flag R, recursive, okay, with it. That's one. The second use case, can we cd into black? Is when you want to duplicate a file or a folder, you use the copy command. You're either duplicating into the same directory or into another directory. And in Linux, especially as server administrator, we quickly call it, when you want to do a quick backup, okay? So let's cd into, before we go use that, let's do it here. Let's say Tesla that you see here is a very important file. Let's say this file, Tesla, is a very, very important file, okay? And I want to work with Tesla. I want to do some configuration inside Tesla. It makes sense that I first do a quick backup of Tesla before I begin to modify Tesla. So that if I mess up with the original Tesla, I can go back to the backup. So the backup here we are talking about here means we want to do a quick duplicate. So to do that, you say copy what's wrong with my copy? Okay. Copy Tesla. Then if you change the name, Tesla dot backup, either you call it dot backup or you call it Tesla 2, whatever name you want to do it. So it's still similar to, not even similar, it is still the same thing with the first use case. But in this case, or in this scenario, it's inside the same way, the same directory. Okay. So if you understand very well what we've been doing with copy command since, can you tell me what might go wrong? Can you tell us what may go wrong with this instruction? Some if conditions or some if statement. So I said this command is going to duplicate Tesla and call the duplicate Tesla 2, right? But what are the what ifs? There's no wrong or right answer. I just want us to think properly from what I've been explaining since. Anybody wants to try? Okay, so let me start. What if Tesla 2 is a folder in this same directory? What's going to happen? Are you with me? Hi, everyone. Can you hear me?
I think it might work since Tesla is a file and Tesla 2 is a folder. So they are two different things. So Tesla 2 will show up as a file, while it is like we have two Tesla 2, one as a file, then one as a folder.
So let me
Hmm.
explain what we want to do. We want to do a quick backup of Tesla. Tesla is currently a file in our current working directory, which is black. I want to duplicate Tesla in this same directory. And I said the command is copy Tesla 2. Tesla 2 being the name we want to give to the duplicate of Tesla. All right. Now I'm asking us some what if conditions. And I said, what if Tesla 2 is currently a folder in this same directory? What we intend to do, will it still be the same thing?
I don't think you have any effect on it. You have just make a replica of Tesla. It's just for a backup. I don't think it's gonna do anything.
Okay. Another opinion.
I agree with Ayo because since the Tesla we are replicating is a file, it won't affect it. So they are two different things. I think, I don't know.
Good
I'm not,
thought.
I'm
Yes,
not
yes. Now, or sometimes when you are done, maybe you're trying to modify, do any modification on Tesla, and as soon as you're done, normally you delete your backup.
Yeah.
So why? So I don't see anything wrong. It's just a mirror of another information. So it doesn't have anything. It doesn't have any effect, of my own opinion.
Okay, good opinion. But don't you think this will return back to our first use case of copy? If Tesla 2 exists here as a folder, it will no longer do a duplicate of Tesla. It's just going to copy Tesla into the Tesla 2 folder. Think
Oh,
about
that's true.
it. Think about it.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah. So you want to make a duplicate of a file or of a folder in the same directory. Then the name of the duplicate must not be a name that already exists inside that same working directory. So assuming Tesla 2 exists on this list as a folder, then it will no longer be duplicating or doing a backup of Tesla here. It now means it's going to copy Tesla into Tesla 2. I hope it's making sense. But with this now, because Tesla 2 does not exist here as a folder, neither does it exist as a directory. Well, sorry, as a file. What will it do? To just make a duplicate of Tesla and call the duplicate Tesla 2. So I cannot go ahead to work with Tesla. If I mess Tesla up, I have Tesla 2 here to replace Tesla. Okay. Let's cd into root and list. Look at this directory. Etsy is a very important system file, system folder. If I want to do a quick backup of this guy now, okay, I can say copy. Because it is a folder, I'm going to use recursive. Okay. Etsy into Etsy dot backup. Okay. Well, I must use sudo with this command. Why am I using sudo? Permissions sake. Why? All the files and folders here are owned by root. When we get into files and permission, I'll show us all of that. Okay. It took a while because that file is empty. And if I list now, can you see? I now have Etsy get back. Okay, I'm able to do that because prior to doing that, there is no file or folder inside this root directory that is bearing Etsy.back. Okay, so let's copy Etsy.back to our user home. I'll still use sudo because it is owned by root as well. Sudo copy recursively Etsy.back, copy it to root home EC2 user. Okay, so let's go to our user home. Let's clear and let's list. So we have Etsy.back here. Good.
Excuse me, but sometimes when you are working on your root,
Yeah.
I will still supposed to use any sudo permission for it since we are working on the root.
Yes, you're okay. I get your question, sir. Working inside the root directory is not the same as when you switch to the root directory. Did you copy? If I run cd root, it's still a regular user that is signed in. However, this regular user is signed into a root folder. So whatever you want to do here, you must use sudo. And you can't just use sudo. This user must have been an elevated user. We'll get into that, right? If you look at the outline of the curriculum I sent to us, you see that you will get into that right in classes ahead. So the user here is what determines if you will use root sudo or not. But if I switch to root sudo su, now the user here has changed to root. Then I do not need to use sudo again because this user here is already a root. All right. But be careful, like I told us before, do not always work as root except it is pertinent to do so. So I've shown us how to duplicate with copy, either duplicating a file or a folder. And I've also shown us what happens if the file or the folder you want to duplicate or the destination you are copying to is not the same as your current working directory. You just need to specify the full path. Okay. I don't need to tell us again. We will use this instruction, this command a lot, especially for those coming with us all the way to DevOps. All right. And then to also do a quick backup as well. So what else can we use the copy command for? Can use it to replace? Can use it to replace? Can we cd into black? Right, list. So can we print something into Ford? Echo list of cars made in USA. I put that into Ford. My session has terminated. All right, we are back. Clear screen. Let's cd into black. Okay. Confirm you can hear me, everyone. Hi, everyone. Please confirm you can hear me.
Yeah.
All right. I'm waiting for my servers to reconnect. I had to change ISP. Okay, so I'm unable to spot why my servers are not connecting. Okay, let me come to AWS first to confirm nothing is wrong with my servers. Okay, they are running and everything is good. All right, so let me return to here. Okay, let's clear screen and list cd into black and list. Okay, we are going to put something inside Ford. Echo list of cars made in USA. Echo that into Ford. Good. So if we cut Ford, you see that. Good. Can we clear screen? Can we also list? Let us also echo Japanese vehicles into, do we have Japan here? It doesn't exist, so we can create one. And if we list, we now have an additional folder, no, file called Japan. Good. If I want to overwrite what I have in a file with the content of another file, I just copy the originating file into the destination file. So we've done copying file into folder. We've done copying folder into folder. Now we want to do copy file into file. Okay. So let's say Ford is an important file. We want to work on Ford. So we should do a quick backup of Ford. So let's do quick backup. Copy Ford dot backup. So if I cut, can I clear screen? Cut Ford. Good. Cut Ford dot backup. The same thing. Can we work on Ford? Say VI. Let's not even go that far. Let's just append something. We are working on Ford cars. Append that into Ford. Good. So if I cut Ford now, then I also cut Ford.backup. So let's see what I've done inside Ford. Is not what I'm supposed to do. We are just creating scenario now. And I need to replace the content of Ford with Ford.backup. What I need to do is to say, copy Ford.backup into Ford. Both are files. All right. So if I copy Ford.backup into Ford, what's going to happen? It will replace the content of Ford with the content of Ford.backup. But it will still retain the name as Ford. That's it. So if I cut, why is it timing out incessantly? Okay, let me clear screen. CD into black. Okay, so now we've replaced the content of Ford with Ford.backup. So if I cut Ford now, can you see? It has replaced it has been replaced with the content of 4.backup. Do you copy what I just did? Is there anybody who doesn't understand? Hello? Hello, everyone. Are we together?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so we've done half the training class. Let's take 10 minutes break. When we return from 10 minutes break, we'll come and look at the move command, right? So let's take 10 minutes. So let's now look at the move command. We won't spend so much time on move as we did with copy because they're typically doing the same thing. So the move command is what we normally do as cut when you're working from the GUI of your Windows operating system. So let's list. Okay. So let's say we want to move the file Lexus into a folder called Lagos. So you see MV, name of the file, Lexus, name of the destination, Lagos. And if you list, the file Lexus no longer exists here because it has been cut. If we cd into Lagos and we list C Lexus here now, okay? The same thing happens even when they are not in the same directory. So let's move this Lexus into the blue directory. So we say root, home, EC2 user, blue, okay? So if we list Lexus no longer here, then we cd, let's cd into blue. And if we list, look at Lexus here. So that's how to use move. Same thing with copy. If the directory is not the same as your current working directory, simply go ahead and specify the path. Okay, let's clear screen now. And let's list, let's see it to our home. Can we go into black? Good. We can also use move to rename. Okay, that's the second use. The second use of copy will be to do a quick backup or to duplicate. We can also use move to rename a file or a folder. Okay, so look at Cairo. Let's say we want to rename it as Egypt. We only say move Cairo, then the new name, Egypt. If we list, Cairo now bears Egypt. Okay. So if I want to hide Egypt now, what do I do? Move Egypt dot Egypt. And if I list, you can't find Egypt, but if you list and show hidden folders, look at Egypt. Why? Because I've hidden Egypt. And how did I hide it? I rename it and I added a dot before the name. If I want to unhide it, That's it. That's the second way to use the move command. The third one, using the move command, will be to replace the content of a file. So if I move a file into a file, let's see. So we have Ford and Ford.backup. Can we add something to backup? So let's say echo, add a new line here into Ford.backup. Clear screen. So let's cut Ford. Let's also cut Ford.backup. So inside Ford, we have list of cars within USA, and inside Ford.backup, we have an additional line called add a new line here. So if I move Ford.backup into Ford, if I move Ford.backup into Ford, what's going to happen is it will replace the content of Ford with Ford.backup and delete Ford.backup entirely. When it was copied, it retained both files. Okay, it just overwrote the content of a file with another. But here, it will replace the content of Ford with the content of Ford.backup and then delete Ford.backup. Good. So if I say cat Ford.backup, you see there's no such file because it has been deleted. But if I cat Ford now, so you see that the content of Ford.backup here has replaced the content of Ford here, and Ford.backup no longer exists. Right, so these are the three uses of move command. Okay, now let us add one more thing to this copy and move command. You can copy a file to a destination or a folder and change their name when it reaches the destination. Clear? I can say copy Ford into New York. And when it gets to New York, call it Ford.new. Look at that. I just added / followed by a name that does not exist inside New York. Because like the earlier short assessment I gave us, if there is a name inside New York folder and that name is Ford.new, what I'm trying to do here will change. It means it will copy Ford into Ford.new. As is, if there is no file, neither any folder bearing Ford.new inside New York, what will happen is it will copy Ford into New York and call it Ford.new inside New York. So really, this is how this works. When I say copy Ford to this directory, it will first go into the directory before the last one and check if there is any folder bearing Ford.new in this directory. If there is any, then it will duplicate Ford inside it. Good. If there's no folder that bears 4.new inside New York, but there's a file that bears 4.new inside New York, what will you do? You will replace the content of that file with the content of Ford. But if there is neither a file nor a folder bearing 4.new inside New York, then it will copy this file Ford into New York and rename it as what? 4.new. Okay, so if we cd into New York and we list, we are not seeing Ford, rather we see Ford.new. Okay, and this will work for both copy and move. So if I say move Ford.new into London, and when it gets into London, rename it Ford.back. If I cd into London now, and I list, and you see, instead of saying Ford.new, I'm saying Ford.back. So you see that works for both New York, both copy and move. And by that, we are done with copy and move commands. Can we move on? Any question before we advance? Any questions, please? Are we good to go?
No questions from me.
All right. So let's look at the grep command. If I say man grep, man that I use in that place means manual. Grep searches the named input files or standard input if no files are named. Okay. In addition, two variant programs, egrep and fgrep, are available. Egrep is the same as grep flag, capital E, and fgrep is direct invocation as either egrep or fgrep is deprecated, blah, blah, blah. So generally what it looks for is pattern in files. Okay, it's looking for pattern in files. Let's quit and let's go use that. Can we cd into etc.backup? There are a lot of files we can use grep to find here. Okay, rather let's go even do it from password. Etc password. Is business such file directory? Where are we? cd root etc. Let me clear. cd etc. Okay. Okay, password is a file. Ah, yes, that's how I wasn't able to cd into it. It's a file. Can only edit a file. I want us to start with a directory. So let's go back to our user and go back to etc.back. If I do a long list here, there are a lot of files and folders. However, if I just want to confirm if there is a file called group in this place, then I can use, it's all right, I can use grep to do the search. See what I'm saying? If I list the content of this directory, there's a lot of things to see. But I'm looking for a specific file, and I know the name of that file. So I will say long list file, pipe, and grep. Look at it. Long list. Pipe. Pipe is below your backspace key. Pipe is used to combine two commands together, but in a special way. Pipe means that execute the command before the pipe, and then execute the next command on the output of the command before the pipe. There are ways you can combine commands in Linux. I can use pipe and I can use double ampersand. Okay, but the case where you use both are different. For pipe, it says, if I say pipe grep group, this is saying that execute the command after the pipe on the output of the command before the pipe. So what's the command before the pipe? LL. So what it's saying is make a detailed list of this current directory. Now, when you list the current directory, execute this command on it, which is show me, that is what grep means. Filter for me group. So instead of listing all the content of this place, it's only grep for us group. It will show pattern of files that bears what group. Do you see that now? So if I just do ordinary long list, it shows me a lot of things. But if I just want it to filter for me a specific file inside this plenty file, I can now use grep. So most time we use grep to check if a file exists in the directory. Okay. And if it exists, we can also use it to cut if a particular name exists in a file. So that's it, grep. Let's also look at list for me, pipe, and grep for password. Do you see that? Okay. Now, can we VI password? Again, look at all the content of password. So if I do not want to see all the plenty content of password, I just want to see a specific user. I want to confirm if a user exists. Okay. I can say cat password, pipe, and grep for Ubuntu. So it means that display the content of password. However, on the content of password which you want to display, filter if there is any word bearing Ubuntu. I tap enter, nothing showed because inside password, there is no name like Ubuntu. Does it make any sense? List. So if I say list, pipe, no, we've done that. We want to cut now. Cut group. No, we want to cut password. Cut password, pipe, and grep for EC2 user. Do you see that? So rather than show us all the content of EC2 user, is showing us what? Only what we ask it to filter, EC2 user. Is it making any sense? Is anybody lost? Let's find you. Let's find you if you are lost. Okay, so that's how to use the grep command. Let's go use the wildcard and the character search. Now, let's say I'm looking for a directory called yum, or I want to see everything within this directory that starts with Y. That starts with Y. I need to say list pipe and grep for Y asterisk. So if I run list pipe and grep for while asterisk, it's going to show me every word within this directory that starts with Y, irrespective of their numbers. Do you see that? yum.configuration, yum.repos. Okay. How about with S? S, then wildcard. You see? SCL, security, SC Linux setup pool, and that's it. Okay. And I can also rearrange to say, this time around, show me what's that, irrespective of their number, it ends with L. Okay. This is going to show me everything that ends with what? With L. SCL, scale, SSL. Let's also do some rearrangement. How about SS asterisk? What do you think this will do for us, class? What will this one do? Are you following? Hello, everyone. Are you with us?
Yes.
Okay, so what will this do? List pipe and grep for SS asterisk. Anybody knows? It's going to show you everything that starts with SS. Either it is 4-letter or 3-letter word or 5-letter word, or as long as it starts with SS, to show you SSL. Okay. Now you can also use what we call character search. List for me the content of this file. However, show me everything that is S question mark question mark. S double question mark. This is saying that I'm looking for names that is looking for words that is 3 letters that begins with S. I do not know if it is SCM or whatever it is. But what I've put here says that what I'm looking for is a 3-letter word that begins with what? With S. Do you see that? So if there are 4-letter words that begin with S, it won't show you. If there are 5-letter words that begin with S, it won't show you. It will only output for us the 3-letter words that begins with what? With S. Okay. I try that with you. This one will show us 4-letter words that begins with U. Do you see that? Okay. And I can as well rearrange it. I can also say this L, 3-letter words that end with what? That ends with L. That's it. So all I'm showing you is the numerous ways you can use the grep command. Okay. Let's look at some other simple Linux commands. I'm looking at if we can be able to get into clear cd ps. What will ps do for you? PS will display current active processes. PS will display current active processes. So there is a bash process and there is also a process going on. If you want to kill a process, therefore the command is kill flag 9 followed by the process ID. So if I want to kill bash process now, the command is kill flag 9 followed by 3646. By that, I've killed the process. Okay. Can we do an installation? And let's try kill the installation. Even though you've not got into installation, but I'll install a service and we'll try out killing the service. I don't want to kill any of these because these are some of the processes that is making our Linux to run at the moment. So let's do sudo yum install httpd flag y. The install is not correct. Okay. Good. It has been installed. Can we start it? Sudo systemctl start httpd flag y. No. Start httpd. Can we enable it? So if I check the status now, it should be saying running. Look at it. The status is showing running. And from here, the PID is 3817. There's another way of knowing the PID of a process that is running. Let me clear screen. So if I want to kill this process now, let's run it again. Sudo systemctl status httpd. All of this will teach us when we get into installing packages. So if I want to kill this process, I'll run kill flag9, the process ID 3817. Look at it here. Operation not permitted. I can use sudo. I've used sudo. Let's check the status again. Can you see? Failed. What happened? It has been killed. Okay. So in what scenario do you kill processes when you are in production? Most of the time, when you need to use a specific port, and then there's another process using that port. And the process using the port is not important. You can do away with it. So you can kill the process just to make that port available. Like currently, our port 80 is available now because I have killed HTTPD, Apache HTTPD using the port. Okay. If I go to restart HTTPD, and I run status, it is now active. If I check for the port, you will see that it is engaged. So let me use sudo netstart flag tnlp pipe and grep for port 80. You see? It says port 80 is in use by HTTPD. And this is the process ID 3990. You see that it correlates with what we have here, 3990. So if I want to free this port, if I want to make it available for another service to use, then I will have to kill this process. So to do that, you run sudo kill flag9 3990. Good. So if I run the command again to check for port 80, you see that it returned nothing. The output was nothing, meaning that port 80 is not in use by any process. Okay. So what I want to show us here is how to save processes and how to kill processes. How we did the installation and how I did the sudo systemctl, all of that, I'm going to explain when we get to that part. All right. The next thing to start on our curriculum is file permissions, which I don't want to start now because we will not be able to complete within the remaining. I just want to be showing us some other important. There are many Linux commands, but the important ones. So you've seen how to queue, you've seen how to see the name of the process ID. All right. If I run WHO, WHO shows me who is logged into the system. Who is logged into the system. And if I want to see the run level, who-r, meaning that the run level currently is run level 5. And I think I've told us before that run level 5 means multiple users that can have access to both GUI and CLI. GUI means graphics user interface. CLI means command line interface. Okay. So you want to see the time calendar. All right. Like I said, this is not a show off. These are commands that will help you. When you want to run pro jobs, it's important you understand your server calendar. Okay. You might assume it is the same Gregorian calendar that you have on your PC. But if it is no experience, I would not have known as well. It is possible you're working remotely for a company in a country where they have different calendar. That's one. Two, that even their own days does not match with your own, or how they treat their days does not match with how you treat yours. So don't assume. Okay. I give you an instance. I've worked for an organization that is in the Arabian, it was a short thing. And then I never knew that the first day of the week was not Monday in their country. Yeah. So when you're setting cron jobs for that kind of organization in that country, you must be mindful. All right. So on their own system, their calendar starts actually from, I think it starts from Friday. Yeah. So you also must be careful. Okay. Let's look at one more thing before we call it quit. Alias. Alias, like I told us, is used in place of another thing, especially when that other thing is long. Okay. Every time I've been doing clear and I have to type it out clear, I can just use CL as alias for clear. I can just use CL as alias for clear. So how do you do that? Very simple. The first thing you need to check is if that alias exists. So maybe there's another alias on your system that's already using CL, then you can't use it again. So what do you do first? You first do alias CL. It says CL not found. That means you can go ahead and use CL. So to set an alias for clear, this is how to do it. You say alias CL equals to, then you string the command clear. It's as simple as that. So when I use CL now, it's going to clear for me. So I don't need to type all the way clear again. And you just use CL. Okay. However, this alias I just did is temporary in the sense that it will only work for this user that is currently signed in. And it will only work for this session I'm in right now. If I stop my server and I start it again, that alias clear will no longer work. Okay. However, there is a file where you can edit to go and create alias, and it will remain permanently as long as that file, that alias is in that file. Now, that will be our first assignment for those who are here and for those that will watch the class video later on. First assignment is find on the internet which file on your Linux system that you will edit and create alias permanently. All right. So let's do a simple classwork. I want to cd into, okay, cd into home, EC2 user, black. This is a command. cd into home EC2 user black. Let's say the black folder is a folder where I go to often. I go to this black folder often, and I can be anywhere within my Linux system, and I want to go into black folder often. It makes sense that I just create an alias for this long command. So let's call the alias go to black, GTB, go to GTBF, go to black folder. Okay, let's clear CL. So what will be the first thing to do if you want to create an alias that will take us to go to black folder? I already have the command. If I paste it, look at it. So let's create the alias together. What should we do first? What do you think we should do first, class?
Is it to check that the alias is not in use yet?
Beautiful, beautiful. So let's confirm alias go to black folder. No, that's not alias spelling. Okay. All right, so it says GTBF not found. That means it doesn't exist. No other alias is using that word. So let's go do it now. So we say alias GTBF equals to, you string the command cd into this place. Okay. And tap enter. So if we check for alias GTBF, look at what it's showing us. That's it, alias GTBF. So let's cd into Etsy, into SSH, and list. Okay, see where we are. Print working directory. There's no folder here. Okay, so let's clear. So from here now, if we want to go to black folder, the command would have been cd, then all the way, all of that. But because we now have an alias created for that command, we just run GTBF, go to black folder, and boom, it took us to black folder that way. Did you now see how you can use alias commands now? Yeah. So we created, you have any question?
Yeah, so how do you remove those commands in case you don't know them?
Beautiful. So if alias created it on alias, we remove it. On alias CL.
It's interesting.
Okay, so if I run CL now, it's no longer found. You remember CL was our clear command before. Right, so it has been removed. The same way on alias, go to black folder. Good. So if I run GTBF now, command not found. Okay. All right. So we have a standing assignment. Attempt it. The alias we've done is temporary. It will only work for this user and it will only work for this current session. If I had not removed it and I shut down or I stop the instance, by the time I return, it will no longer work. Okay. But there's a way you can make an alias pseudo permanent. There's a file you have to edit and put it inside that file. That's the file I want you to look for and try it. Okay. Put your alias inside the file, stop and start your server, and then try the alias again if it will work. Okay. I think I've leaded us a lot today, even though what we did is not plenty. It's just that the explanation is a lot, which is important. When we come to class on Wednesday, we'll come and look at user management and file permissions. Okay. In fact, we can look at 3 things together: user management, file permissions, and we look at packages as well. Right? Will there be any question before we adjourn this class?
Coach, so how soon do we get these files the recordings into YouTube? Because I missed the first
within the
30.
hour. It's going to be
Okay.
within the hour. As soon as Zoom gets it ready, we should not take long.
Okay.
Should be
So I
available
want to
on the
spend some time
playlist.
to look at the early starts of the starting part of this session here.
Of the video. It's okay. All right. Any other question? All right. I'll see us on Wednesday. You have any question, put it up on our group, and then we'll address it together. Enjoy the rest of your day. You're welcome, sirs.
Thanks, Coach. Thanks, everybody.